Carved into these ancient mountains are communities of varying cultures.
Woven together for survival.
Torn apart and exploited for generations.
Join us as we mend those wounds with mutual aid and raw, unapologetic conversations.
Our voices, our platform.
This is Appalachian Livin.
Welcome to Appalachian Livin, almost heaven, nearly hell. Today we have, as always, or as most of the time, my wonderful co-host Elise and my lovely husband Tom, our producer.
What's happening,
Howdy,
y'all?
howdy.
And today we have a special guest that I met online, and I did not realize that we grew up like 10 minutes away from each other. But his name is Curtis Lovejoy. Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
We've been trying to get you on the podcast for a long time, and we talked about it for even longer than that, right? Because we were like, did you see the song that Curtis put up? And, you know, we run in the kind of the same circles. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of mutual friends. Yeah. And so we're proud to have you, sir.
Dude, I'm so glad to be here. I was doing a TikTok live, and Tom popped in and had mentioned coming on, and I was down with that. And then Lindsay popped in and mentioned, you know, and so I made sure to send a message that time. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah. And I didn't know you, but it's great to meet you.
It's great to meet you as well. And I think we have a connection. Mm-hmm. I know your sister.
Yeah.
She was one of the first people to support my work at the Keeper of the Mountains Foundation when I started in that position when she was at WVU. Yeah. And that just feels really full circle to me, and it feels really great to like be sitting by a creek in Wyoming County with you, and to know that we're both going to talk to her about this later. And so what was your TikTok live? What is it exactly that you do?
I play music, folk music, you know, for the most part. A little bit political most of the time, or socially conscious, I guess. Maybe.
But a lot of times it's current events.
Yeah, it's all stuff that is happening right now, which is one of the things that I guess I'm okay at doing, is taking something right after it happened and then putting it to music to help other people see that it happened, I guess.
Well, and I think part of your real talent, in my opinion, is that you take tough things and break them down into a few words. And with a melody, it's a really tough concept that it becomes digestible.
Yeah, it's almost like nursery rhymes.
Exactly.
Really simple. I like when things are put to me in a really simple way, and so if I can take something that may be kind of complicated and simplify it and just do. Sometimes I may be a little cheeky as well, but
we're all a little cheeky.
Yeah.
You got to throw some personality in there,
right?
Correct.
Exactly. You know, and so sometimes I get a little cheeky, but for the most part, it's just taking the facts, like the things that are.
Here's what I see, and I'm singing about it.
Yeah.
You say cheeky. I want to ask you this because we get asked a lot by folks who are familiar with other movements, and historically music plays a big part in movements. We think about Hazel Dickens in the early 20s with, Which Side Are You On, and those types of inspirational songs. So we get asked, what are the protest songs? And in my opinion, I would categorize your music as kind of protest music in a way. When you say you get cheeky, I feel that edge is kind of here's my cut into it, right? And I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. I definitely slide my opinion in there as well. I try to make sure that the facts that are being presented are not opinionated, but the cheekiness is the opinion part.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So, tell us a little bit about, we know where you're from, right? Yep. So tell us a little bit about where you grew up, your childhood, what brings you here.
Yeah. So I'm from here. I'm from Wyoming County, from Pineville, which is just right down the road from here.
You articulated Pineville.
He's from Pineville.
He's from Pineville.
Really? I'm from Pineville.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
and
He's gone to other places where they're like, where? And he's like, Pineville.
I had a theater teacher that made me learn how to say things. So, when I'm not thinking about it, I definitely say Pineville.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, I'm from Pineville, and right down the road in Wyoming County. I have lived here my entire life. I was born in Welch, actually, at the hospital over in Welch. And yeah, I love it here. It's great. The people are great. I grew up, I've never not lived in a holler. So I grew up in the woods, like way back in the woods. And yeah, it's awesome. It's peaceful. Everybody, and even people that have different opinions from you are still, you see them out and about, and
They're
still
your neighbors.
Yeah, they still say hi, and you're still friendly, and you play songs that may say things they don't agree with very much, but they still will talk to you, not about the songs, but they'll still, I love it here. I love the people here. I love, I love it.
And that's the difference. Like, a lot of people get wrapped up in what happens online, and when you actually talk to your neighbor, it's completely different.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And we get a lot of vitriol online about the things that we talk about and how we present things. But when I'm talking to my neighbor in public, it's a totally different story, right?
Same experience. Yeah.
It's just, it's amazing the way that goes down.
When did you pick up a guitar?
I didn't start playing guitar until 2017.
Oh,
wow.
I played bass in high school, and I've made music, of different kinds of music, and I was in band and stuff like that. And so, but I always wanted to learn to play guitar, and I always really liked Johnny Cash a lot. I wanted to play Johnny Cash songs, and I could just never get it. I couldn't do strumming. It didn't work for me. And, I had a buddy from here. His name's Caleb Cook, and he helped me. He broke things down in a way that I understood. He's a great guitar player, and that was awesome. And then I still couldn't do strumming though. So I really love The Tallest Man on Earth. He's a folk musician from Sweden. Oh. He's not tall. He's very small, but huge stage presence. And he does a lot of finger picking stuff.
Okay.
And so it just sounds like it's like one person with a guitar, and it sounds like there are just so many other things happening at the same time, but it's not. It's just one person and a guitar, and that's it. Really beautiful to me, and I wanted to know how to do that, and so I tried to do that, and that worked. That clicked for me, and then. Like a year later, I could learn how to strum. So,
wow. Everybody learns differently.
Yeah, it was backwards, but it's
okay though.
Right. That was about.
It is working.
That was about what I was about to ask. Isn't that infinitely more complicated than strumming a guitar?
They tell me it is, but for me it was backwards.
Well, I think you're right, because in my mind, when you were describing that, I imagined these 12-string Spanish guitar players who do these really intricate finger musical pieces, and so it is. It seems like it's a lot more difficult.
And I'm not a musician. That's I'm a man of many talents, right? I can do.
Sorry.
I got a bug on
If
me.
anybody needs bug spray, the bugs are really bad right now.
I got a spider, but he's just chilling. So.
That's cool. He's hanging out.
Look, this is Appalachian Livin, y'all. We are literally in the woods.
But
I literally had to make my guests clear some of the property so we could set up.
What we do.
He got a free sticker and some water. Okay.
Right.
I fit in well.
And a platform. Right. So I can edit video. I can take beautiful photos. I can talk to a camera. I can do these kinds of things, but I can't make music, right? At all. Like, I can't do it. I don't know why. I think it has to do something with the math that is associated with it.
Yeah.
And I can memorize a piece of music and replicate it, right? Like, I played trumpet in elementary school.
Okay.
But I would have to practice this as much as
You learned a muscle memory.
Right.
Yeah,
And it was like playing a video game.
Right.
Jump,
Right, yeah,
jump,
absolutely.
run, jump, run,
Not
jump.
read the music and play the notes.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it.
Right.
And I knew that I was like, I'm not made for this, and I was competent, but I had to study a whole lot, and then everybody else that was in the band got to go to the new computer lab and play Oregon Trail.
Ooh, very
I remember
cool.
I was the one that got to go to the computer lab and load Oregon Trail on all the computers before the
cool.
class went. I'm
So-
just throwing that out there. I'm
That's
kind of a
awesome.
big deal, y'all.
That's huge.
So at the same time, I was like, all right, I'm not a trumpet player. And I tried to play drums, and they put us in a line, and they were, they're going to assign an instrument to you in elementary school, and I'm like, I want to play drums. And the guy's like, okay, do this. Tap, 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 tap. Right. And I could not do that. I tried it like twice, and he was like, okay, you're going to play trumpet. And I was like,
Took the drums away.
I was like, okay, dream shattered. Because I wanted to be Tommy Lee, right?
Who doesn't?
Right? It like spinning around,
Got the motion.
yeah,
down.
right. Like I had
Like
big
I
dreams.
could twirl the thing already.
Yeah.
So
Throw it
yeah,
up in the air.
but anyway,
Practice
I
with the
digress.
drumstick.
But I understand it, and like and you kind of play like a fill along with a lead at the same time, right?
Yeah, when you're doing. Yeah. It's yeah, and I think it is, and you're moving both hands, like both sets of fingers at one time, right? Like you're moving these fingers and you're moving these fingers, and if you're just strumming, you're moving your hand, But there is, in my mind, I don't know why, I think that the individual, like fingers, I don't know, it makes sense to me more than like trying to do fingers and do hand, I guess. I don't know.
Do you type?
What is it?
Are you a good typist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was in school, they did typing class. So.
Right.
I did too.
Yeah.
I found it very valuable.
It's,
I did too.
so did I.
I don't know why they don't do that now.
It's
I
kind of
know.
wild, right? Like I could do 100 and some words per minute or
Yeah.
something.
I mean,
like,
I'm just like, and I see young kids now, and they're like,
it's the thumb.
Yeah.
because of the
yeah.
thumbs, I guess, because of the
Yeah.
texting.
I
but
heard something years ago that said evolutionarily, if we keep heading in this direction, that like in the next generation, our thumbs are going to be like 7 inches long and like pointed because we do so much with our
Yes.
thumbs,
Yeah.
Right.
we're going to be hunched.
You know what?
over.
The typing thing maybe I've never really thought about that.
As
but
someone
yeah.
who types a lot,
Yeah.
and some people are like, wow, if you are around people who don't type a lot and they see you type, they're like, holy cow. But for me, it's easy because it's muscle memory.
Right.
It's so much muscle memory, and I can imagine both, because I've never been able to pick up a guitar and strum it either. Like I lack coordination and math skills equally.
Same.
I just lack dexterity in my fingers.
It was very confusing.
My hands hurt so bad
Yeah.
just by doing anything.
Mine do after I play guitar for a while. Like
I'm sure.
Like it was the left hand stuff, the fretboard stuff was very confusing for me for a while, and that's one of the things that Caleb was really helpful, was that he explained it as shapes. Instead of like notes or chords or whatever, he explained it out to me as shapes. And
wow.
yeah, and I could not re-explain that to you, but like at
Sure.
the time, it made a lot of sense.
clicked in
to
your
me.
mind.
Yeah, like I'm not going from like a C to an A minor or something. I'm going from a shape to a different shape, and that was a
So kind of like Guitar Hero.
yeah, I guess kind of like Guitar Hero.
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
go
yeah.
from square to triangle,
Yeah,
to circle to back to square,
yeah. I mean,
but on
like-
a real guitar.
but on a real
Yeah.
guitar.
As someone whose
Wow.
brain
Yeah.
is like
like that. I mean, I hope he's like built a curriculum around that.
He's actually, I think he does carpentry work now, but he is still I keep
You're
hitting this
fine.
with my foot. He makes music. He makes great music, and it's I don't really know what the genre would be. He makes a lot of like experimental kind of stuff. I don't know. His name's Caleb Cook, and I think that his last project was called Creek Bedsore. All is one word.
Creek bed sore.
Mm-hmm. And he's from Key Rock. So just right down the road. And he lives in, I don't know, he's in like Raleigh County or something now. But yeah, just a super talented guy as far as like guitar stuff goes. And he went to Marshall for a minute doing music.
Are y'all the same age? Did y'all go to school?
No,
sometime?
he's actually a lot younger than me.
Is he?
Yeah, I went to school with his brother. His brother's like one of my best friends in the world. And
it's so weird. I graduated in 99, and then like all these people that were like in grade school or not even in school are like, have careers and shit now. And I'm like,
yeah, it's kind of wild.
I'm not that old. I don't know what you're talking about. How's that possible? So who are some of your musical influences?
Well, I love Tallest Man on Earth, but as far as like the kind of stuff that I write and play, I love Bob Dylan. I love Woody Guthrie, Pete Seeger. I like Phil Oakes a lot of older protest music kind of stuff. And then I really like, I always forget to include him in this group of people, but Neil Young.
For sure.
Super, super protesty kind of stuff, and I love Neil Young, and so
Lennon.
Sorry,
John Lennon.
Oh, I love John Lennon. Yeah, absolutely. Beatles in general,
I know, right? Yeah. When I think protest songs back in, because he did a lot of them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And a great Appalachian kind of protest guy was John Prine.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
And I am very lucky to sometimes when I see people out that I know that do listen to the music, that's one of the comparisons that I kind of get sometimes.
What a compliment.
Huge compliment.
Yeah.
Huge compliment. And like John Prine was, I don't know that.
He was cheeky.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
He was cheeky. You got that cheeky.
Like I was literally going to say, like, I don't know if he was cheeky as much as funny, but like he's much more clever than I am.
Jesus the Missing Years is
so good.
So good. It's one of the most clever songs, and it is totally cheeky.
I always really liked, and I actually just saw the other day that Tyler Childers and Turnpike Troubadours, I think, did a cover of Paradise, John Prine.
Oh, wow.
Like on stage. And that is a song that I love very much. But me and, my brother-in-law and I had kind of rewrote years ago and to reset it here.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm. I wish I had thought to like kind of bring it back up, practice it. I would have played it for you today. But it just took, that song is about living on a river in Muhlenberg County, and the coal company comes in, and all of that stuff. And so it was not a hard song to take and change into, like, just tweak the lyrics a little bit to be about here.
That really resonates with me because a lot of the things we've been talking about lately, and Lindsay and I actually had the privilege to present to one of Nikki Fabricant's classes at Towson University Thursday morning. Yeah, she zoomed us into their class. They study, it's a course called Resource Wars.
Okay.
And they've been studying Mine Wars history. And so we started out, of course, with some Mother Jones quotes. And the parallel we draw is these things are relevant today.
Mm-hmm. We're still here.
We're still here 100 years later. Yeah. Everything I'm reading to you, you could just apply to whatever's happening right now. And so I love that this idea of taking this really profound song that is very meaningful to the people of Appalachia and reworking it in a way that kind of modernizes it, but that kind of reiterates that point.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot has changed.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, what the one verse in that song is, then the coal company came with the world's largest shovel, tortured the timber, and they stripped all the hills. And, like when we redid the song, we didn't change that line. It just, it makes sense,
Where's the lie?
Yeah, exactly.
It's still happening.
And it's good to see like Tyler Childers and, covering it the other day. I mean, that's, it is.
Speaking of Appalachian,
absolutely, genius
voices,
music.
right? That are talking about
he's
issues.
Done protest songs,
absolutely,
especially during
the
George Floyd. He
Long Violent History
Yep.
is a modern classic.
I'm terrible with names. I'm just like, hey, that guy that plays the guitar that does those songs like that.
And
I can remember words when they rhyme. That's about it.
And I think his whole new album is kind of in metaphor.
Yeah.
Right. And if you know him and you know the things that he's talking about, and you can kind of read between the lines, I mean,
you also have to be kind of Appalachian as well.
You have to
like,
know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And I hear other people trying to talk about like reading into Tyler Childers. I'm like, oh, bitch, that ain't.
Yeah, you're so far off.
Bless your heart.
And eating big time
Yep.
is EBT.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's about eating a rich man, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
He's eating the rich,
Yes.
right? And I think the last verse is something about his wife, but we won't go into that. He's doing well, right?
Sometimes
He's
you gotta
doing
be
it
a
good.
little cheeky.
But
A
that
little
music,
cheeky. That's right.
yeah,
Yeah,
that music set me on fire. Though when I heard Tyler Childers' new album and pieces of it initially, I was like, damn.
Oh, Biting List was fantastic.
Oh, White List
So
was
good.
maybe the first cut I heard from it,
So
and I
good.
thought that I was like, somebody needed to say that.
yeah.
I don't know how many times that was mentioned over the past weekend.
Well, and it's so simple. The song is just so simple.
Right.
It's
And
to
if
the
you're from
point.
Appalachia and you've dealt with rabies and you know you got to deal with that,
Yeah, man, I've had to call him because there was a raccoon dead out behind the house,
Yeah.
on the patio there. Like, it's,
Right.
yeah.
and to tune in to an entire regional culture and to speak to us so deeply and then to watch the rest of the world react, I think is also really interesting.
Yeah.
And Tom and I have had these conversations about how people are offended by his life. His existence and his life as he's
Yeah.
telling his stories is offensive to people. They don't want him to be that hillbilly.
Right. Right.
We want you to be that other hillbilly we
they
thought
don't-
you were.
They don't understand hillbillies,
Correct.
okay?
Yep.
Yep.
They understand the ignorant redneck and not these kind of rednecks.
And what you can market.
Right.
And they understand a capitalist system that requires you to make something sellable.
Right.
And so that when you do something that is art and genius, I
Right.
mean, I got to
And make a statement.
And it's a statement that resonates so deeply with me. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the statements he made in that album.
Right.
Like, come at me with it.
Right.
Yeah.
No lies detected.
And another guy I love from Kentucky, Sturgill Simpson.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he's A2.
Yes.
Who is fantastic, and he's going through kind of a change.
Johnny Blue Skies.
He's Johnny Blue
Yeah,
Skies,
yeah.
and it seems like every day I wake up with one of those Johnny Blue Skies songs in my head for
Yes.
some reason. Something about the sunrise. If the sun never rises again, I think is the name of it.
Okay.
I can't remember, but for some reason I've had that in my head. I'm autistic, so I have this echolalia kind of a thing where I have songs in my head all day,
Right.
And especially when I wake up. I don't know why, but
I do that too.
You know,
I'm going to start writing mine down now that you're saying it because I do
Yeah,
that too.
right.
And I'm always like, why the hell am I singing some Christina Aguilera song
Right.
from 1996? Like,
Yeah.
what the
It was
hell?
probably like on the
my
radio.
cavities picked it. My feelings picked it up. Remember they used to say that the radio waves your feelings would pick
Yeah.
it up, resonate.
Hey, Lucille Ball
I was gonna say that.
had
But
dental work
Mr. Tinfoil
done.
hat over here. You
Okay.
can't say nothing.
Okay. Lucille Ball had dental work done back in the 30s or 40s during World War II. Okay. And she was driving down like Hollywood Boulevard going to the studio, and she picked up some kind of a radio signal in her head.
That's wild.
And it was a Japanese spy
Underground.
underground.
I did.
These redheads, man, I'm
Like-
telling you.
Should have wore a hat.
You know, and it was Morse code, and then there would be like Japanese speech,
Wow.
and she was like turning down her radio, and she's like, what is going on? And yeah, she reported that, and they found him.
Oh, that's wild. I had no idea about
Yeah,
that.
that's
See, I was
actually
saying
happened.
that just being cheeky, but it
No,
turns out
that's a true
actually
story.
I'm saying,
See?
true story.
Yeah.
Facts and cheekiness.
These
they
are
just
the-
You
go
never
together.
know.
These are the-
To one person's cheekiness is another person.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right.
That's really true. You
So,
just don't know.
You started playing in 2017, right? Now,
Yes.
what was the direction of your music at that point? Were you just trying to find your voice there, or
Yeah, at the time, I was learning covers. You know what I mean? Like just mainly playing other people's songs, and I played for I don't know. I didn't play for very long before I started putting like videos of me playing on the internet, and they weren't great, you know what I mean? But whenever I was in high school, I did theater, and I did the theater program at East forever, and so being like performing something, I guess, is not like a super scary thing for me. And so I started doing that and putting videos on the internet, and people here were very supportive of that, you know, like neighbors and friends and all of that. They were very supportive of that. And so I just kind of kept doing it, and I did that for a long time. I went and played. I played in 2018, I think, is when I started playing live.
Were you making your own songs, or were you doing like covers?
Just covers. Just covers at the time. And I went and played, like I played up at the Burrito Bar, and I played over.
I went to high school with Yarrow.
Really?
Ryan and Yarrow in the burrito. Which burrito bar are you talking?
Oh, the one in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, and they are wonderful people, and I'm so glad to give them a shout out. That's another small business we need to recognize, because they make amazing food, and they're just the finest people on the planet.
They were
and so,
great to me, man. They were awesome.
A lot of fun, great folks.
I owe those folks a drone shot.
Cool.
Because I went and took off from their, patio to get a shot of
the bridge.
Oh, that's okay.
And they were like, yeah, if you come back one day while we have people here and get a shot of the bar, go ahead.
That would be great, yeah.
And that was like 5 years ago. So they,
Well, we need to go up, and I need to get a sweet potato burrito. Because
So there we
closing?
go.
They close during the winter months.
We'll go back in the spring.
Yeah, we'll
when
open
they
up
open.
with them in the
They were
spring.
great to me, man. They were super nice.
Good
and
folks.
A guy I went to school with and had done some theater kind of stuff with whenever I was in school. His name's Brian Cantley. He plays music and stuff. Guitar player. He's also extremely talented. He invited me to come up and play. They were doing a show, and he asked me to come and open for him, and so it was great. And I played over in Mullins, and then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, I made back in like 2014, 2015. I made kind of like, me and a buddy used to make like hip hop music. It kind of like hip hop. It wasn't that, but it was kind of like that. And a lot of it had really political undertones, and it was like protest music, I guess, And so fast forward, when COVID happened, I was mainly just playing covers and stuff, and then I started to dabble in writing songs about stuff that was going on. I didn't put any of those out. But that's kind of where I started with it. And then when I after COVID started going away, I just started doing that more. And then last year, right before the election, I wrote a song, It's Getting Kind of Hot, and it kind of, I don't know, caught a little bit of traction, And so I kept doing that. I just kept doing that,
Because did it feel natural? I mean, it just felt like a good way to speak on the issues.
That was the big problem, is that I don't really know what to do sometimes to be like useful in all of these situations that are, even here sometimes I don't know what to do to be useful, but especially on like a larger scale, and those things affect us. Like, here, those larger scale things affect us here. And one of the things that makes me write these songs in a simple way is to try and, like, these people that I know, who I'm friends with, who I've known forever, and on the internet, they don't read they don't research what people are saying, and then they just kind of latch on and they go, and sometimes all they need is for somebody to reframe that in like a simpler way, and and then put it to music and rhyme, I guess, and then maybe that they can reframe how they think about that. And that seems really ambitious, but
I think it's very important that we do start to reframe things, because I have noticed that with certain events or certain things happening, and I'll be talking to someone, and they'll say, yeah, but it's just blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you're saying it's just blah, 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 like that's a nothing.
Right.
But in actuality, that's people's lives.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there acting like it's absolutely nothing.
Yes.
So we need to like kind of bring your humanity back into this
Right.
and not just kind of glaze over like, oh, well, you know, it's fine. It's not happening to me.
Right. Right. And and it's a hard thing because sometimes you just want to not deal with it. You just
Right.
You have to take a break.
It's easier not to,
Yeah.
and it's easier to step back. And when you're saying that, I think that a lot of the work we do, you can't spend a lot of time on folks like that. You have to recognize and meet them where they are, and it's the ones who are seeking knowledge and awareness who help bring that message back. And when you change that narrative into like, no, my reframe is the way, then I think you're right. It like unlocks the ability to think that way. And if you give them something to hang a hat on, a lot of folks, like if you give them an articulated like reframe and a reason, and it's like, oh, no, okay, I can understand that. They will carry that out. In certain situations, they will be able to like push on those places. So it seems like a really small thing, but I think that the impact can be really profound. And I want to just mention, we did a little bit of research, not a whole lot. My research on you is basically what pops up on my For You page, right? I'm doing my scroll thing, and all of a sudden there you are, and I stop.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I'm like, what does Curtis have to say about this? Like, what's he talking about now? What do I need to be aware of? Holy shit, what? What happened? And they did what? No.
Curtis, tell me not so.
Yeah.
How? And so that, in a way, you're kind of providing some news, right? But I don't know the timeline of how you put things up. The one that came across most recently to me was words.
Yeah.
And I think words, I made Lindsay listen to it earlier. I didn't make you. Like, I didn't hold you down like you got to listen to this. But I pulled it up. No. I pulled it up and said, there are parts of this song that give me goosebumps. Like, it really got to me. It's like a deeper hit, and I want you to hear it. And you said the same thing. You were like, damn, twice during that song, like,
The end is
Shit.
what?
yeah.
Something like here in a couple weeks, I'll have to write another song.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if that's one you can play for us today, but
I can play
we
that.
can we
Yeah.
move into that
Absolutely.
song and have him
Sure.
play one
Yeah.
for us? Because I'm really excited to hear you
yeah,
play
have at
it.
it.
for sure.
The importance of bringing issues to folks with music can't be understated. I mean, we talk about protest songs, but
Music gives people fire. It gives people
It
energy.
inspires,
It
right?
inspires people. It makes people go.
I know I have been feeling kind of bad the past couple of days. We talked about this.
I know.
My body kind of shut me down. Tell them I had that weird thing where I like had a mild fever, but no real anything else. I just felt like crap for a couple of days.
I think,
She had
I
been
think
going-
that's COVID.
No,
I don't know. I
She
didn't
was
take
exhausted.
a test, but I powered through. But I felt like music was helping me move along. It was helping me. Do you need to stand up?
yeah. What's comfortable to you?
Or do I?
You don't need to wear those. Nope. I think
Not unless you want to hear yourself.
I don't need to.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
And what we could do is put Elise's microphone
I think
at.
that'll be best. There.
I can. Yeah.
Well, if he needs one at his guitar and his
I
at
see.
You think it's
his
gonna-
mouth.
However you want to do it.
Let's try it without it and see.
Okay.
Okay.
You want me to just try it
Turn
like this?
the hours off.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful instrument.
Thank you. I just got this. I just got it. I needed a guitar that was going to not break, like in the middle of, and this one was. It's just I like it a lot. It has a nice weight to it. It's it's new. It's
Nice instrument.
yeah. Thank you. All right. Do you want me to see if you can hear me first?
We can hear you.
You can hear me? Can you? All right. See if you can hear the guitar.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. Rock and roll. All right. Words. Words, weight, as important as what we do, or all the things we say. Love, hate, an entire population that's lost its way. What do we do when tragedy strikes? Is it only supposed to matter if it's someone we like? And is it right to expect grief for a life that spent its time in the light, sowing discord and strife? What happened this week? How many people died? How many people with agendas? How many names thrown aside? And what's the fix? We break bones with stones and sticks, but rhetoric's as powerful as a 5.56. Words, weight, as important as what we do, or all the things we say. Love, hate, an entire population that's lost its way. What do we do when tragedy strikes? Why is it only earth shaking when it's on your side? Charlie Kirk didn't have to die. Melissa Hortman, Sonia Massey, not a single child. This could be a turning point, an opportunity to fix what's wrong. When we're dying on both sides, well, we should come together strong. But gun control and mental health have been partisan for so long that by this same time next week, I'll have to write another song. Words, weight, as important as what we do, are all the things we say. Love, hate, an entire population has lost its way.
Thank
Awesome.
you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so
It's
much. Yeah.
perfect. It's perfect because it's just, we really need to understand our words have weight. And I think we're using our words more now in this podcast and in our community because we understand words have weight.
Right.
If you come from a faith culture or a faith background where you study breath and speech and words and the power of words, and that you are to guard your thoughts and your words. And, you know, people have construed that and interpreted that a number of ways, but I've always felt that to be that you are so powerful that when you spew hate or spew love, whatever you're putting out has so much power in it. And so that song, that's what it does for me. Like, it reaffirms that and you also asking the question, like, how are we here and what are we doing? And we have this opportunity. You're not solving any problems with this lyric. You're asking the question.
I think it was important when the Charlie Kirk thing happened, you know, and it was just everywhere. And, you know, like, we all have opinions about that. And I have my opinions about that for sure. But I mean, I don't want people to die. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
right.
I disagree with a lot of things, but I don't want those people to die. I mean, like, I don't want Donald Trump to die. You know, like, I want him to pay for what he did. But, like, you know, like, I don't.
However, I do think we need to come to a realization as a society that death is a natural thing.
It is,
and also there has never, ever, ever been a peaceful revolution where violence was not happening.
That's very true. And you know, and that was kind of the point of the song, is to recognize that regardless of what I think should happen or what I want to happen, we all have opinions and we all say words, and those words have weight. And somebody didn't just go kill Charlie Kirk. Like, somebody went and killed Charlie Kirk for a reason that they had. And somebody didn't just go and kill Melissa Hortman. Like, somebody went and killed her because they had an opinion about something that she had an opinion about. And, you know, Sonia Massey doesn't really fit in that, but like, it's the other two, you know, they do. And that was the big thing for me is the idea of, like, even if we think somebody's a saint, like, to somebody else, maybe they're not. And if they're public and they're saying things and those things, those words have weight. And if they're saying negative things about people, then those people have the right to have an opinion about that, you know? And then on the other side too, like, you know, Charlie Kirk had the right to have an opinion about whatever he wanted to have an opinion about, free speech. And so,
well, and we had very well established, like, free speech and, you know, I want to say laws, and kind of, you know, we've worked out in this country what free speech is to some extent. And, you know,
what speech is protected and what speech is not.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's important because not all speech is protected speech. And speech that is particularly insightful, for example, you can't yell fire in a theater because it could cause chaos, right?
Yeah, but I think a lot of people don't understand that hate speech is not just saying a slur at someone. It can also be a very manipulative and
framing, how you frame things can also be hate.
Immigrants get Medicaid. I mean, illegal immigrants get Medicaid. That's it.
That's exactly right. And as someone who wrote a policy paper on it in 2007, I can assure you they do not.
Right.
But I think this genre, who listens to you online? Like, who do you get feedback from? Because, you know, they fan boy and girl. Yeah, obviously.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, it's interesting. I'm not really sure who some of the people are that are into this, and like on a larger scale, you know. But I went to Clarksburg, or I'm sorry, I didn't go to Clarksburg. I went to Weston right after I wrote the song about the cop in Clarksburg.
Okay.
And I got invited. I got invited pretty quick to go and play at a at the West Virginia Cookout Festival up there, right?
Okay.
Which was a little bit of you know, Clarksburg and Weston are pretty close. And that cop got let go eventually, and then I found out that apparently he's a cop in Weston now. So that could have, you know,
that's kind of how things go.
That's
You're
how
the
it goes.
dude writing the songs about me.
Yep. And so I went and did that, and you know, that is like, man, I went down we drove like 10 minutes down a gravel road, like my holler, to get to this festival thing. And so it was like way back out in there. And the other people who were playing there were awesome. Alistair Stolas and the Whiskey Blind Band both played, and they were both fantastic and great people, great dudes. But you know, it made me, and my brother-in-law went with me, a little nervous to go into an area that's, people don't know who I am, and I'm going and saying,
kind of poking the bear, you know, you're going and poking at a tender spot.
And I tend to be a little cheeky. And so, especially, you know, my girlfriend tells me I got to work on the banter between songs. So, you know, I tend to be a little cheeky, and you know, but the people there were okay with what I was playing. You know, like people came to see the Officer Helsley song. And that was awesome. And you know, and then they listened to me play songs about Donald Trump and stuff. And I have songs that aren't about politics. Like I have one called Myrtle Beach Queen, and it's awesome. I'll play it for you later if you want me to.
Awesome.
You know, it's not about politics, but you know, like that's the majority of kind of what I'm playing. And the people there reacted well to it. And so those were people who I would have not expected to really be into it. You know, online, I get a lot of elderly people, which is interesting. I say elderly, but I mean 60s, you know.
But that's a folk music era, I think.
Right.
You know, when I think about my dad and, you know, that age group, 60s into their 70s, I very much appreciate a song they can understand the lyrics to.
Yes, and I think that it's important for those people, like older, you know, a lot of stuff about boomers and you know, like older generations maybe not voting for the best stuff for us. And so I think that it's very important for those sects of older people to have outspoken opinions or whatever, and maybe be able to help reframe things for their friends who are the same age and, are helping making policy decisions
well,
for
they're
us right
still
now.
in the they're in the era of they still watch the news.
Fox
right?
News and MSNBC and
so they're getting it the way the news is spinning it. And then you tell it.
Depending on which news they watch.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Either one.
If it
doesn't
even
matter.
makes it to the news, because
Right.
a lot of stuff that's super relevant lately.
And,
hasn't been
and
making
most
it.
of the time they probably don't even know, and they're like, "What the hell?"
But
you know?
when you sing it in a way, it's like I've never questioned what you're saying. So it
Thanks.
feels very right. It feels trustworthy, right? Like, and I think that in some respect, have you ever thought like, I wonder if that's true? Of
Well,
course
that
not.
didn't happen.
Right. Like, so
No.
I wonder
Even if I don't know the story, I'm like, yeah, that probably happened.
right. And so I think
I-
it's interesting from like a journalism perspective. I wonder if like presenting the information in that way has like some kind of effect on how you consume it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had no clue about Officer Helsley in this situation in Clarksburg before
Your video,
I heard your song.
That's the song I found you on,
And
actually.
So it's incredibly powerful when someone gets a message in a way that is accessible
Yeah.
and not in a kind of a propaganda machine, because
Or-
that is what honestly that is what corporate news and even local news has turned into, because
Just sound bites
now
spit out. Yeah.
all of these local stations are now a part of a conglomerate.
They are.
It's very, very rare that you get a family-owned news station.
If you take a look at one of the local news stations' Facebook page, you will see that that whoever's doing that page don't live here.
yeah. Yeah.
They're putting weird ass stuff up there, and I'm like, nobody here cares.
Right. Yeah, there are other
That's really
things that
true.
we want to know about for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the Officer Helsley thing I was doing okay before that, but that really took off.
That's a bold thing. I mean, it's a bold statement to make, and that it's rooted in truth
Yeah.
is the only way you can get away with it.
Well, and that's
And
the thing that I mean, like, I didn't see the video and think immediately like I should make a song about this. The thing, and it did all happen really quickly. I saw the video on a Friday. That lady had posted it on like a Friday morning, I think, and I saw the video at work that morning or whatever. And then I had to work, but I thought about it through the day and stuff, and I saw the news started to pick it up, but none of the news sources were saying the name of the officer, which I thought was like
disingenuous.
the video very clearly showed what was happening. Like, dude, punched a guy in the face a bunch of times. That was very easy to see. There was no reason for that to happen. So when the news picked it up and they were putting out articles about it that same day, it was really odd to me that none of them mentioned anything about the cop. And so that's what made me be like, maybe I should.
There, the cheeky came out, and he's
yeah, and you
Maybe people ought to know this guy's name.
exactly. And
Yeah.
so
why you hiding it?
right. And I thought about it through the day, and I went when I got home that evening. I wrote the song. It's a very short song, and I wrote it really quickly. It's very simple, and all I did was just describe the video that I watched. That's I didn't make any assumptions.
Yeah.
I do comment on the things that I saw in the second part of the song, but the first part of the song is just a straight breakdown of what happened in the
you saw.
video. Yeah. And I had to go to my girlfriend, we went to a play that night, and so I didn't get to put it out that night. And then the next morning, I got up and I just walked outside and recorded it and put it out, and it just hit really quickly. And, it was 24 hours or something after the event happened. And so that was
Still fresh on the news
it was
tickers
still,
and
yeah. And then it never went beyond those articles that were the initial articles, as far as the reporting on it goes. Nobody reported on the song. A bunch of people on the internet sent the song to John Bryan, the civil rights
Attorney
lawyer.
down, yeah.
Yep. And he emailed me and asked me about doing a video about it.
Nice.
And
Wow.
so, and that also like, helped it pick up
and
a lot.
He has like a million followers or something
on
like
YouTube.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And so when he posted on YouTube, that also helped it take off on another, like, it was
in a different direction.
Direction on another platform. People who weren't seeing it on TikTok, like, it popped off on YouTube. And so that was, and his YouTube. And then he doesn't put things out on all of the platforms at one time. And so, like, somebody saw it on Facebook like 3 weeks later when he put it out on Facebook or something.
So you had kind of a sustained release of this across a number of platforms, which is
smart.
Yeah.
It's not intentional, but maybe the universe is just throwing you a bone and being like, hey.
It kind of, and that was, it became a little difficult for me because people responded really well to it, but I have friends who are cops. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're good cops for sure.
Right.
And
most cops are good cops.
I think so too. And I think that, like, especially we're really lucky to live in a place where the people who are cops here for us are good people and, like, who I've known for most of my life. And,
right.
and
that's a good point too. Is we've known them for a long time. Like you know who you're getting generally, unless
and
they start
like,
moving them around from place to place.
And just like teachers, and I equate this to really any position of power, right? There are fantastic teachers, right? I had a teacher at Pineville High School who watched TV all day. And then she was overweight and then told me I needed to, that I was fat and I needed to lose some weight.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
And, she watched like Jerry Springer and Sally Jesse Raphael, and this was class.
That was our history class.
Sarah Houchins told me about this when I was her roommate.
Yeah. Yeah. That was our history class.
That was a teacher, right, who graded me.
Right.
And what she graded on, I have no idea. Now that I'm an instructor, I'm appalled at how she was able to keep a job and operate in that way.
I cleaned her car one time for a grade.
Oh, that happened all the time.
Her car was disgusting.
That happened all the time. Oh, she was a disgusting, ugly lady. And you all know who I'm talking about. Those of you who went to Pineville High School in the late 90s, and I can't remember her name, but I
know exactly what her name is.
And if she's dead, I'm glad you're dead.
Easy.
I was a fat little
words have weight.
Words have weight.
I was an overweight kid with no self-esteem, and this fat ugly lady who didn't teach me a thing told me how fat I was, and
you got no love.
But let's turn the table to the other teacher.
Right.
That I thought you were getting ready to talk about.
Right. And
the one
on
that
the flip
told
side, I know her name and I love her to death. And I saw her at the Pineville pool and I told her that she changed my life. And I am who I am today because you took time to tell me that I could be this. Mrs. Mary Thompson?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. I had her too. She's awesome.
She
I had her
changed my life. I was a troubled kid. I was getting into trouble, and she came to me one day and said, "Son, when you are a famous broadcaster, I want you to take me out to the Greenbrier because I believe in you and you can do it.
Wow. And
if you don't, you are taking something away from all of us." And
she was amazing.
She's awesome.
Well, she is amazing.
Yeah,
That's
she's
really
great.
awesome.
Her husband, I had her husband in English, and he taught all of us how to fill out a job application.
right.
Bob.
Fabulous skills.
I guess that's his first name. It's Mr. Thompson.
Yeah, Mr. Thompson. Yeah.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about college.
Right.
I didn't know what I wanted to be. I didn't think I could be anything.
Again, the weight of words and the power that those instances, that's why I'm always pumping people up, because if I've got a little extra to give and I walk past somebody and I'm like, "You look great today," or, "That shirt looks amazing on you," or something, just throw a little something their way. It really means a lot to people sometimes.
The smallest thing that I do, a lot of women have their nails done, and I don't. I just can't. I bite them. I'm bad. But y'all that get your nails done.
I always compliment cute nails.
Oh
Absolutely.
my God, they look so good. And a lot of times we're like, oh, thank you. And it's just like the smallest little things.
Yeah.
Like, I like those glasses.
But I think you're right.
You know?
Police officers and teachers are in unique positions with vulnerable folks a lot. And if they can, connect to the humanity and look at somebody and say, I believe in you and you're better than this and I want to see you try harder, that can make, like you said, all the difference in the world of whether I'm glad you're dead or it's really great.
right. And I hope that lady is, anyway. But I told Mrs. Tom,
she's
unfiltered.
Honestly, the way she was living, she ain't living another 30 years past that.
Good.
I saw what was in her car.
So I told Mrs. Thompson, and I gave her a big hug, and I said, I am trying to pass that on.
Oh, cool. I bet that meant a lot to her.
I am a living testament to the way that you taught your students.
That's
and
so
you
cool.
passed that to me, and I'm trying to pass it on. And I told her, I have students that are looked over and they don't have aspirations for college, most of them, because you go to the Career Center because you don't have plans for college. And that's generally what, who the students that you get. And I encourage all of my students to go to college if they'd like to. And I believe that they can. And I make them believe that they can.
Right.
And the only reason I didn't go to the Career Center was that there wasn't a media or broadcasting, program there, and that's why I took the job.
Right,
because awesome. I was like, if that had been there in 1995 when I was a sophomore in high school, I would have absolutely been there with bells on. And I said, I have to teach this for the kids like me from here who can't see that is possible. Right.
That's a direction, yeah.
When I was in high school, Mr. Gary Weaver taught there, and there was a group of us that we were really into like video game design and stuff. They didn't do anything like that here, and
they do now.
And they do now, and I'm pretty sure
Tim Weaver teaches it now.
Tim Weaver does.
His brother.
That's his brother. Yeah. Gary, he started an after school thing like once every so many weeks or whatever, where we would go in and he would be there with us for like an hour and a half, and he'd teach us how to do animation and stuff. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, a buddy he went to the other side of the county, but Daniel Painter, he took that class with us, I'm pretty sure, and he works on video games now.
Awesome.
And that's awesome. That's awesome. Like, that's sick. And that's only because Mr. Weaver took the Tom out in the evenings to just do this thing.
Gave a little extra.
Yeah, just a little extra. Yeah.
The kids around here just don't. Well, I mean, the people around here have been a generational trauma that we don't deserve any better. Or we can't do any better. We're not smart enough. We're just a bunch
There's
of dumb
a lack of
hillbillies.
imagination on some levels.
But there are some very talented and smart people from here.
Yes.
Very much.
Well, like Tyler Childers says, if you ain't mining for the company, boy, there ain't much in this town.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
And it rings so true to every Appalachian little small town in the coal fields, and nothing truer has ever been said. But
that's by design.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, it's on purpose.
So it can be undesigned.
Do you have a favorite song that you do?
So let's hear about Officer Helsley. We talked about him for like 30 minutes.
Really?
Let's hear
we need to hear
Let's hear the song.
Okay, yeah, I'll play the Officer Helsley song.
Oh, we got to play the hit.
And then
of course.
what time do you have to leave? What time do we need to?
I need to leave here around 4.
Okay.
It's 2:30.
It's okay. We're good.
My little boy has his first elementary school dance.
Oh, we got to be there
tonight,
for that.
and
he's going to have his.
I love how the teachers presented it when they sent it out. And my kid has like a mohawk mullet.
I love it.
He asks for it when he goes to the barber.
All right.
And so he, the teacher sent out the note about the dance, and the introductory sentence to the note was, if your child comes, you must come as well. Which I thought was great. It's like, yeah, we're not babysitting your kids tonight. Like, you got to come. But I told him he wanted to go. I told him, I said, I'll go with you. So this is his first dance, and I have to be there.
Well, I hope it goes super well
Thank
for
you.
him.
I
That's
appreciate
super exciting.
that.
I'm about to turn ours down.
All right. Officer Helsley, or the Ballad of Officer Helsley. Officer Helsley of the Clarksburg Police punched a guy repeatedly in the face. Well, it was 5-on-1, 5 cops with guns, and a guy they didn't even have to chase. And yet, once they got him down, suspect on the ground, well, you think they'd show a little bit of grace. But that's when Officer Helsley of the Clarksburg Police punched a guy repeatedly in the face. Now don't you feel safe? This is serve and protect. Smash your head against the curb and put their knees on your neck. Land a punch here and there, try to cut off your air. How are we supposed to feel secure when they want to keep us so scared? It doesn't make me feel better. They beat a drugged out drunk. All this talk of dangerous illegals, but we're being policed by these punks. And there are good cops who think these actions are a disgrace, but standing around silently watching is just as criminal of a case. 'Cause cops like Officer Helsley of the Clarksburg Police love punching people repeatedly in the face. Officer Helsley of the Clarksburg Police punched a guy repeatedly in the face. It's on tape. Officer Helsley of the Clarksburg Police punched a guy repeatedly in the face the other day. Officer Helsley of the Clarksburg Police punched a guy repeatedly in the face. Say his name. Officer Helsley of the Clarksburg Police punched a guy repeatedly in the face. One more time. Officer Helsley of the Clarksburg Police punched a guy repeatedly in the face.
I mean, that thing is horrific, but
I want to dance to
very
it.
funny.
I want to bob my head, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not cool.
Yeah, and you want to just
Officer Helsley punched someone in the
It's
face.
a catchy
No.
little tune. For
It is.
sure.
It's, you know, and that was the, like, they skipped over his name, so I just repeated it.
Knowing
a
that
bunch of
now
times.
that's kind of what inspired it, it makes a lot of sense.
Right.
You know, like that, say his name, like don't hide.
there were a couple things that I got a lot of flack for with that song. One of them was that I said that they're good cops. That got me a decent amount of flack on the internet. And it is what it is. People can believe whatever they want. But, like, you know, in my experience, I know some good cops. I know some bad cops.
Look,
Yeah.
my brother is a cop, and he was a cop in Memphis.
Oh, that's
for
And I mean,
I don't know
it's
how
a
many-
war zone.
right,
yes.
and
Like, literally,
that
they're
job
gonna-
changed
Yeah.
that man.
Yeah.
It changed him, right?
Yep.
And he's not the person that I knew 30 years ago.
I think just the academy in general does a lot of
It
damage.
does, and I think there's a lot of brainwashing, and I think there's a lot of also when you're in a position with a coworker, and it's not just we got to deal with the fucking printer or some bullshit.
Yep.
You know, it's like actual life and death. You know, there's a different bond there, and I kind of understand. I'm just saying, as a human and a psychological thing, you have this bond, and you don't want to like be a rat to them, right? However, when you have someone that's doing such a piss poor job, you have to say, you're doing a piss poor job, dude.
And it's not, and even, you know, on like a smaller level than life and death, it's like someone's livelihood. Like the idea of like they can do something, act a certain way that, you know, maybe you can't get a job that, I mean, like, I know felons who maybe shouldn't be felons, right? And they can't get jobs. Like, I mean, that's, you know, that sucks. That's terrible. Our president's a 34-time felon, like, and he has a job.
1,000%. And anything past this point that requests that information from someone is heinous, irresponsible, hypocritical, and unnecessary.
Yep. And you know, like, that's just a so the idea that someone has that much power and control on like in a traffic stop is crazy. That's wild.
It is.
But I've been in a lot of traffic stops and I've been very lucky. And one of those reasons is because I live in a small town and I know my cop and I am white and,
very real.
And that's, I have a song about that. Like I have a song about these police violence, and the whole song is just the idea that like these people were just doing normal things and they got killed by like a cop, and like these are normal things that I do and don't get killed.
Exactly. I, as a 40-something-year-old woman, have been pulled over probably 20 times in my life, and I've received 2 tickets.
You haven't gone to jail.
I haven't gone to jail.
You haven't caught a charge.
You
You've been
should
dragged
have.
out, right. If they dragged you out and searched your car, it might have been a different...
She should have went to jail probably 20 times.
I
But
bounced a cigarette off the top of a state trooper's windshield after I smoked 2 blunts in the car. And he still just said, you gave me the wrong insurance card, just take it to the thing in a couple days.
Well, and it's good for me to know good cops because I have a lot of anxiety. I have a lot of anxiety in general. And so there was a J. Cole song that like a long time ago where he talks about like just getting pulled over, like, and his hands start sweating.
I love
and all
J.
that.
Cole.
Yeah. I mean, like it was just very simple. And like, why do my hands start sweating when you get behind me and stuff? And like,
all of a sudden I start swerving.
Yeah, like I don't know, I'm not doing anything wrong, but it just makes me nervous. And so it's very beneficial to me to know good cops and to know that there are good cops and to know that like if one of them gets behind me in town, I don't need to get nervous and start sweating.
Out, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and that's good. But just because they're good cops don't mean there aren't bad cops. And you're right, those people should be called out by their coworkers. Like that's what stops that.
Yeah. And it's also what you caught them on a wrong day or something.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody has bad days, but it does not excuse any terrible behavior.
Can I circle back to the favorite song now?
yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I needed to hear
Officer
Helsley,
yeah.
and he punched a guy repeatedly in the face.
Of the Clarksburg police.
The Weston police.
Now apparently from what I understand, I haven't.
You're going to have to do a follow-up.
Maybe he's
and say Officer Helsley punched somebody in the face
now
in Clarksburg, and now he's in Weston.
Now he's in Weston. Yeah, I kind of
or
wrote
maybe
like
he's Lewis County sheriffs, which might, who knows.
I wrote like a redo of it, like added a new verse in, but I haven't recorded it yet. And I'd play it, but I don't know it very well. So,
Fair enough,
but
yeah.
and it's a thing too where I started getting a lot of messages where people were just sending me things that were happening that involved police brutality, and that was. I just got so many messages about like, can you write a song about this one? And can you write a song about that one? And I would love to write a song about every one of them. But
that's not really how songwriting works.
Well,
though
it's so
tough.
It's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
It just like reading all those messages has just made me even more sad. Like that's
you're hearing about all of these police brutalities,
and it's everywhere, constantly.
Now you're like,
every day.
I can't not think about all of this.
It makes you want to go write a bunch of songs about police brutality, but
then again, do you want to be pigeonholed to that little niche?
No. And I think that like every one of those, and this is not a super popular thing too. Like I don't believe in police brutality at all, but like every one of these situations just has a whole set of circumstances around it. And so it's never just as easy as being like, it was very easy to write that Officer Helsley song because I just described what I saw.
And said, the name.
And the name,
This is what I need to say. I need to say his name.
Yes.
You can't go by somebody that sends you a message and says, hey, I did this, this, and this, and this happened.
Yeah, right.
You can't be like, I got to have proof.
I need more information
right.
than, and that's a problem because that information isn't always made available, which was the point of the Officer Helsley song.
Right.
They didn't make his name public. I just got lucky to find it.
We get tagged a lot in poison water situations when that is not the only thing that we do, despite what some people think.
And honestly, we're not doing anything with the
And-
water right now, so please.
Yeah. Which I
Yeah.
thought, I saw.
Please.
Yeah.
We've been,
You saw,
we've been,
yeah.
we've been run out of town. But
Right.
anyway,
We ain't run out of town. I'm fucking
right.
saying.
Well, I mean, I'm not going anywhere.
I'd be goddamn if I got run out of
I ain't run out of town.
I
I
was
just
threatened.
ain't giving nobody clean water
I
anymore.
was personally threatened.
Yeah.
And
I saw these things.
I'm
and that
right
was
here.
insane.
Oh yeah.
You can come
probably
and get
still
me.
can see stuff, but I've blocked everybody.
I mean,
Just so you know, I'm talking to the camera.
well,
here.
I honestly I didn't want to talk about it because I don't
you
want to
know.
give no power to anybody.
Well, go ahead. I'm here. And I ain't scared.
you know,
right?
the idea that, and you know, you asked me like what my favorite song is, and I'll try and connect these two things because like
Lisa's like, I want to hear that favorite song.
recently, my favorite song recently is the newest song that I wrote, the Scorpion and the Frog song, which I think is like a little bit of that situation in that, you know, somebody tries to hurt you and they end up hurting themselves and other people in the process, and that is just, you know, you can be the scorpion on the frog, but you got another one on your back, you know, like it's crazy. Like, I don't know. It's interesting to me that people think that they are very nuanced and other people are not, or, you know, like, I don't know, that their opinions are so important that it should be able to,
That a whole community should say no, we're not going to even allow any help from
create
this
so
person.
much more
because there's-
suffering, like, because of
I was
that.
literally called, if the people that don't know, I was literally called an evil person. And the whole coal field development grant got taken away. But I did go to the event that was being held because it was free to the public, and as long as you signed up and got a ticket. And it was great. I found a bunch of people, old friends that I knew, met some new friends, some people that I had only seen on TikTok. And I'm like, oh my God. Dan, the Appalachian Traveler, met him there. Sarah was on our podcast, The Oracle. She helped drive me around
She
town.
reposts my videos, I'm pretty sure, on
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, it was great, and they are doing some really wonderful things.
It's a season of truth telling.
Yeah.
I see people resonating with folks who are saying it clearly and speaking it out loud. And I was reminded, I went to a friend's memorial recently in Matewan, outside of Matewan. And I was reminded in that event by a friend. I was like wrapping up at the end of the night and telling everybody good night, and we camped. You know, there were a bunch of us down there. Matewan is down in there. Like, you commit to go to Matewan. You probably want to stay down in there.
I got my mom wears bandana, actually.
I saw that when you got here. Yeah. And so at the end of the night, a person came up to me and said, hey, I never got to thank you for this moment 10 years ago. Well, maybe not 10 years, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, where everybody knew what the right thing to do was, but nobody had the courage to stand up and say it. And you came in and stood up and said the thing. And he said, you saved us all from going to prison for 20 years. In hindsight, it was the right thing, but there was so much momentum behind what was happening that nobody could pull the plug. And I told him, I said, well, thank you. I appreciate that recognition, and I'd forgotten about that moment, you know, but you trusted me enough to know, you know, that I wasn't coming with some nonsense. And so, you know, in those moments when you have to make those decisions and say those things, it's important to have the courage. It can literally mean life or death for some folks. And people who harm other people, we're in an era of truth-telling now where we no longer say, well, they do all this other good stuff.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
So we're going to let this thing slide.
Right.
That's why we have the toxic corruption that we have, is because we've been willing to turn a blind eye. Mm-hmm. The book didn't say turn a blind eye. It said turn the other cheek.
Right.
Meaning when you call them out on their bullshit and they come at you, you turn the other cheek.
Walk away.
Yep.
But you by no means turn a blind eye. And I feel like this is a tough place to be as a woman, as a community calling out leaders who are often male leaders who have achieved within their community and being said, no, we're not going to look past these things any longer. We're going to hold you accountable. Right. And I think it's really, this music is lending itself to that change in paradigm, right? It's lending itself to, here's my take on pulling that curtain back. Say the name. Here's what happened. It's on video. That's what resonated with me from that
love
song.
that.
When you saw it, you're like,
it's on video.
It's on video.
Like, don't even come at
don't
me.
come at me.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what I heard. Was like, I know you're coming, but it's there. It's recorded.
Was that the Pineville in you?
Yeah.
And
Like, it's on video. Don't come at me.
You know, I got a little redneck in me, or a lot of it, and so
You're carrying
I'm
a Mind
carrying-
Wars
I do,
museum.
I hold on to it. Like,
And so talk to me about that. Like, how did you get that, and what is your interaction with that?
specifically, I ordered this one from the Mind Wars.
Awesome.
I didn't go pick it up there, which sucks. But I saw it popped up on Instagram that they were selling them, and so
It was like an anniversary. They were selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I carry a bandana everywhere, anyways, and
Might as well be that one.
might as well be that one. Yeah.
How did you learn? Do you know much about the Mind Wars or the history, or
I know a little bit about it.
enough to be a redneck?
I know enough to be a redneck. You know, my brother-in-law, Jordan's husband, has a history degree.
Cool.
And he knows a lot about it. And so I'm very lucky to have him to teach me these things and to teach, like, you know, I got the bandana. When I got the bandana in, it came in a really cool. It didn't come in something. It was wrapped. It was wrapped in like a really cool like thing that explained what it was. And you know, it told about like what a redneck really is, and like what the bandana meant, and you know, and how they stood up for their rights and against these coal companies and the government and there was a lady that I've known forever that was at work, and I showed it to her, and she read it, and she was like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And she's lived here her whole entire life.
There's a lot of people around here that don't.
We got asked yesterday or day before yesterday in the class. He said, "What are some of the common misconceptions about the Mind Wars that you receive?" And I looked at Lindsay. I said, "I've received no misconceptions.
Nobody knows.
There is
People
no
don't know about it.
conception. Like, we're educating people about this major historical.
They were
fact.
like, you know, like the government like dropped bomb. Like they came ready to party, you know, like here.
And when they have to treat citizens like foreign nations, when there are things like that, you know, I say that about the resistance to the Mountain Valley Pipeline. In order to get that pipeline completed, Joe Manchin had to go to the tippy top and cheat. Think about that.
He didn't get it when he wanted it.
He didn't get Congress to get on board. He couldn't get the Supreme, you know, he had to go to the Supreme Court and cheat to get it passed and to get it built. And so, you know, when people view that pipeline being completed as a failure, I back up to that and say that, like, we delayed it for a long
That's
time.
right. Something happened there. Like
There was a major resistance to this because
And
it
they
was a
felt it.
bad project.
That's right.
And in order to get around you, they had to treat you like a foreign country.
Mm-hmm.
They had to go to the top echelons of our government to get around this little resistance in these states.
It's so like it's ingrained in us. Like that's who we are. Like that's what we come from. And you know, like it's always really interesting when you see like
Bootlicking in action?
yeah, like the
So
you know like
Oh my God, who said that?
God,
I didn't
Silvio, fucking Silvio.
That's my cat.
Like you see, like the people talk online about like lootings and rioting and all of this stuff, and you know, like they don't know. I was gonna say they don't remember, but I guess they don't know that, like, you know, whenever this stuff was happening here, like coal miners were stopping people like on our back road and like being like, this car is my car now. Like,
Absolutely.
You know, this is not.
It was war.
That's right. And so it's not like, to me, we should be able to relate stronger to these people like dealing with not the same exact
Scarcity,
thing, but like,
but yeah.
you know, like that is like, that's who we are. It's what we come
I think
from.
we've become very comfortable.
And-
And like I said, our history teacher was a piece of shit.
That'll do it.
And
Yeah.
we had whatever we have learned on our own. And we did go to college, and we learned. I had to take remedial history. because I didn't freaking know anything.
Yeah, you don't learn anything.
But I had to go to college to hear the words mountaintop removal for the first time, and I grew up in Hinton.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was happening in the late 90s. So, there was, even for educated folks, there is a disconnect of true information and how it's decimated and how it's given out and handed out and how it's gate kept.
Yeah.
And teaching us about how strong we are is not in anyone's interest in a capitalist society.
We know how strong we are.
Yeah.
Right.
We know that.
A lot of folks around here have forgotten this history personally, right?
Yep.
I feel like a lot of folks have forgotten that in themselves and in their own personal family and their own history. And a lot of that is being lost. And that's why I talk about it really as much as I possibly can.
I agree.
But they didn't talk a lot either once it was over.
Right.
A lot of things had to be secretive and you couldn't say things, and so they took a lot to their graves.
Right.
Absolutely. And the Mine Wars Museum is if you want a local
We need to go there.
museum to donate to. I am a card carrying member, number 95. I have a membership card. I donate monthly. I brag on it all the time. I'm so proud of that.
Whenever I told Jordan I got this bandana not long ago, she was like, well, I figured they would have just sent me one. I donate monthly.
That's exactly right. And it's great. Jordan, I'm with you on this. Like, we should holler. And I know that they will. They'll probably send it to us. But I feel like the work they're doing, they have a curriculum online that you can pull up. And so even when college professors say, how do I teach people about the mine wars, I'll point them in that direction and say, start with an elementary curriculum. It's a very easy story, easy to follow. And it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
When you really break down what happened and the timeline, and then you pull in characters like Sid Hatfield and Mother Jones, and you see this alchemy of what happened here. And I'm telling you what, you know this about me, like I am a Mother Jones Bible beaten.
She says she wants to be Mother Jones when she grows up.
I want to be Mother Jones when I grow up, because to be the most dangerous woman in America, number one, I mean, come on.
What girl doesn't want to be called that?
What modern girl doesn't want to be the most dangerous woman in America?
Oh my God.
I would love that. I'll even wear like the
jackets,
the gray bouffant and the black silk dress. I'll nail it every time. But no, she's such an inspiration, and her. It wasn't, I don't think, fearlessness. It was courage, I think. It was a courageousness. But she knew she was right. And those leaders that stood up and showed us how to take charge and to take charge of our lives and to hold people accountable and speak truth to power. These are things that we say. But, the weight of what we say and what we do, these work in tandem. Right. And so, I don't know. I don't have really anywhere to go from there except that I love Mother Jones.
No,
I'm a huge Mine Wars Museum fan.
I'm reminded of a Martin Luther King Jr. quote, a riot is the language of the unheard.
Yes.
And when these folks, any folks, are unheard and unrepresented and looked over and stepped on, that is their only language.
I get it. When I don't feel heard on a personal level,
You get louder and bigger.
I get loud because obviously you can't hear me.
And I think it's important to the Katrina documentary. It's been 20 years since Hurricane Katrina last month, and they released a 3-part documentary on Netflix about it. And I worked in post-Katrina New Orleans, and I had never watched a documentary on it. I would get about 2 or 3 minutes in, and it was too much.
Right.
I still carried a lot with that. And it literally took 20 years. And this documentary is from the people's perspective.
Okay.
Totally.
I've not watched it, but that's
highly recommend. And I have literally watched the entire thing because it's their story. It's the people who were there as it happened, what was going on, how messed up things were. And so I'd much rather hear that story than any perception of it, because nobody's going to get it right.
And footage from people who were there.
Yes, live footage, like in the in the attics as the water's coming up and looking across. It just
Pre-cell
highly
phone.
recommended.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but when you carry trauma around things and then you look for leadership and there's lack of leadership, right? those figures come to mind and hopefully inspire leaders. Like, hopefully it inspires people to stand up. Your sister is one of those folks who just is a fire rock star. I mean, she and I met through environmental work.
We should get her on the podcast.
Yeah, you
Jordan
should
would be
definitely have her on.
fantastic.
She could be a Mother Jones.
Without doubt. And that fire, like you said, is in us. Like the ancestors, we are the descendants of those people who made those commitments and made those commitments to their community.
I have a picture of we went to the Women's March, 2017, maybe something like that they did at the Capitol. And there's a picture on my digital picture frame of Jordan and Michael standing there with their signs. And Michael says Mother Jones was a nasty woman.
Absolutely.
I just remembered that. Yeah.
But no, understanding the power too of people and inspiring people. So your favorite song is
recently The Scorpion and the Frog.
Scorpion
song.
and the Frog.
Yeah, and I think that it is. I mean, Big Beautiful Bill stuff recently, and I'm getting ready to go and play at this Medicaid event, and there are I'm learning all of these statistics, hard statistics, because I'm writing a song about it, and it's a very literal, just straightforward, simple information kind of stuff, and there are over 520,000 people in West Virginia on Medicaid, and that's gonna go away. That's going to go away. That's going to go away. And the healthcare sector in West Virginia is the largest employer in West Virginia. And, that's going to hurt. 7 hospitals, possibly 10, 3 nursing homes closing down, killing federal funding for rural hospitals. These are all really negative things that are going to directly affect us. And my job, what I do is with my brother and my mother and another one of my sisters is we have assisted living facilities. We have 4 of them in Wyoming County.
Awesome.
And they 100 and some people, and they employ a lot of people, and those people have Medicaid and they have Social Security, and it's already happened to some to some extent. You see there are changes, but it's going to get much worse.
It's going to get much worse.
And it's crazy to me that all of these people, I know a lot of people here that are more focused, they're okay with that happening because they don't believe that's what's going to happen. They believe that what is actually going to happen is that illegal, undocumented immigrants
only if you're illegal,
right,
you'll lose your health care, but
or
that
if
is
you
not
don't
the
deserve it.
case.
Right, or if you don't deserve it. Yes.
Yeah, only
And
lazy and illegals will not
and
get
that's,
health care, and that is not the case.
Undocumented immigrants don't get
They
Medicaid.
don't get it now.
They don't. I used to
it's
do
very-
Medicaid and food stamp applications, and I know exactly.
They're not showing up to get benefits
No.
because they might get in trouble.
They would. Yeah,
Let's be smart about
They
this.
want to work.
But they also, even if they're working illegally or in an undocumented fashion, money is coming out of the paycheck that they're earning into those
They're
systems.
migrant workers.
But they still pay into the
They
system.
pay
They
taxes.
take Social
Right.
Security. They take federal
Well, they
taxes.
pay
out.
taxes,
Yeah.
and migrant workers are able to get services while they're here,
Under certain visas,
Under
right?
cer- right.
staying here and working here.
And the people who are actually going to lose these things are not. Well, I mean, I don't have Medicaid, but the person at the bottom of my hill has Medicaid, right? And
My
so,
son's been priced out of CHIPS, which
Yeah.
is a really affordable, awesome healthcare program, but
Yep. And it's just going, we will suffer. Us here in West Virginia, we will suffer. People in rural Oklahoma will suffer. There are, we will suffer, not the people who are already suffering that are undocumented immigrants here, trying to live their lives. And so it's crazy to me that they're so focused on that thing that they're willing to lose all this other stuff for,
Sacrifice everything else.
I had people here were more worried about immigration than anything else. This is West Virginia.
Yep.
How much immigration, that, guys,
Okay.
come on.
let me tell this story, right? And then there's another point I want to make before I move on.
I have to use the restroom.
So
I
go
can't
ahead.
Hold it anymore. You tell your story.
All right. So we've been a part of water distributions and things, and we were all waiting for someone to come and open the door. That way we could carry water in or carry water out, something like that. And we were all talking about politics and the upcoming election. And, you know, somebody there, it wasn't me, because I rarely make political statements in public just because I don't want, well, one, that's polite to me.
Yeah.
You don't talk religion, you don't talk politics in common company, right? And it, to me, that's the way I was raised. But someone started talking politics because they were making the point that, you know, Trump rolled back these regulations to let energy companies dump into creeks and rivers. And he was like, you know, he's like, I went to a Trump rally, and now I'm not a Trump supporter because of this, because what is happening here is why it is a direct result of that, you know, that action. And then it wasn't, you know, and I made the point that it wasn't rolled back by Biden either, which is even to me, a even bigger crime. That's why I don't subscribe to either party right now, because both of them have let us down tremendously.
Yes.
And but I wasn't going to vote for the orange fella because it's legitimately his fault. And the guy said, well, I worked with some Mexicans down in North Carolina, and because of the immigration, they're going to take over if we let them. And he's going to go and deport all of these illegals. And this is, and I said, okay, we're talking about real impact on you. We are in line to distribute water to you because of actions that this man has taken. And your big issue is hardworking Mexican people. And
because it's an easy target.
I had to say something,
Yeah.
and I probably upset the man. But listen, I have my aunt Shirley married a man named Bill Fernandez, who was a Mexican immigrant and was a hard worker, worked for GM and Cadillac for 25, 30 years in Detroit. And I have a plethora. I got a gaggle of Mexican cousins up there. You know what I mean? Who I love more than anything in the world, right? And so, it just blew my mind that this guy was glossing over the fact that he's in line for water.
Right.
And he's worried about immigration as his number one gripe.
I noticed, it's hard not to notice. I've noticed the same thing here. And actually, oddly enough, in relation to the water, I am very outspoken against Patrick Morrisey, who is the governor. And
as you should be.
As we all should be.
He ain't from here, y'all.
He's from New Jersey.
He's from freaking Jersey.
Right. And, we had a lot of Patrick Morrisey won. He's the governor. Like, people here voted for him. And now there are people who are anti-Patrick Morrisey here, who are still pro-Donald Trump here, who's just a bigger Patrick Morrisey. It's such a wild thing.
I've tried to make common sense out of a lot of things. Just stop.
Yeah. It's not
going to happen because there are some things like sometimes I'm like, who's mad at this? Because I'm really confused at who's pissed. Is it MAGA? Is it blue MAGA?
Yeah.
There's a blue MAGA. We're coining that term as well. That comes from the Oracle, Sarah. Yeah, blue MAGA. That's the ones that are telling you that
the Democrats will fix everything. You have to vote Democrat, blue, no matter who.
Yep.
Anytime you post anything about, anytime we would post anything about the water around here, those were the comments we would get. It was like, well, keep voting red and blah, 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 blah.
You got what you voted for.
Guys, y'all know that voting is not going to get us out of this mess.
Well, and not everybody voted red.
I know, and I'm like, you're literally talking to people that did not vote red and tried to get people to not vote for the people that were deregulating and killing us.
We actually stumped really hard for Democrats in the state.
I tried to help.
We did political fundraisers for Democrats, so
I tried to help.
And not just any Democrats, but the ones who were committed to making the changes that needed to be made in the community. I think that's important.
And there were some Democrats that I'm like, there's no way in hell.
Right. Can't support.
And the ones that get elected are the ones that aren't going to do anything.
Well, they're not.
Yeah, it's
because they get the money.
You're exactly right. I don't know. It's the Democrats are not doing very much to help us right now.
Honestly, I don't think
especially
we can
in the United States Congress. That is, I
think holding up the bill and saying, we are fighting for health care, we are fighting to keep the Medicaid instated. I think that is I'm hopeful because it's not about partisanship, it's about people who need healthcare.
And it's still crazy that there are some of those Democrats that broke from that as well, and that's what's not helpful. And I still am a big Bernie Sanders supporter, and I've met him twice in McDowell County, and people don't come here, and I saw him at a food bank over here, and
Bernie took every county in West Virginia,
and that was a big that's where
and
I
that's
was going
what we
with
had
that.
to tell the class the other day, because
they asked about the move to the right, and it's like, well, actually, if you zoom out, I think that they wanted something that was non-establishment.
I stood in line for the food bank one with these two people who had been traveling around following him, going to these things. That's
a little much.
It was a little much. Well, and it gets a little more wild because I'm standing there in line with them. They had followed him, they had seen him two different places the day before. They come down here, and then he was going to Charleston that evening, and they were following him to Charleston.
I'm not following a politician. The politician comes to me.
I'm barely following a musician.
Right.
But I'm standing in line talking to him, and the one guy says, he's like, if Bernie doesn't get the nomination, I'm voting for Trump.
Which is insane of how opposite they are.
His buddy who had been traveling around with him was like, what? And he was like, oh yeah. And he asked him why, and he said because he's anti-establishment.
Exactly.
He's not voting for somebody.
And that was the thing, is that a lot of people thought he was anti-establishment, but I'm like, guys, he's a millionaire.
In our case, if you pull back to that primary, the Democrats screwed us.
Yeah.
And screwed themselves.
And screwed the entire nation.
Yeah, because they did not like Hillary.
So, but I think that is the difference of people who can think independently, is we can parse that out and say, you fucked up. Yeah. And we don't buy fully into everything you do because you're imperfect.
Right.
And not that any politician is perfect, but to be so daft as to what the country and the pulse of the country is saying and telling you, and to just make another decision that totally undercuts that.
That kind of means you're not doing
trust
your
you.
job.
Exactly. We can't trust you to do your job.
Well, and I still, in hindsight's 2020, I guess, but I still, in my head, I'm still there's a decent chance that things went a different way if the DNC hadn't screwed us.
I completely agree, 1,000%, because Bernie would have taken West Virginia.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Wyoming County went 99% to Bernie Sanders. That's
huge.
Awesome.
That's huge, right?
Yeah.
I also. I want to ask, if I ever do run for office, would you consider doing some political music for my campaign? Because that would be really awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just laying that groundwork now. I want to put that out there, because I think I've often said that, the candidates I think that are going to resonate moving forward are the ones that are going to say that, I can't play in this game. This game is not what it's about. The game that you all are actually living is what needs to be addressed, and so changing that dynamic.
I am very and like, you know, I guess I should watch what I say because I don't want to put myself in this position either. But like I don't want to be the guy just writing songs for politicians everywhere. I mean, I would write songs for you, but you know. But it is interesting to me that the Democratic Party in West Virginia has been very good to me. They have been very good to me. They have invited me to play
because you're good for them.
Well, and that's it is.
They
recognize you have an audience.
Importance.
Right. And they've invited me to come and play, and I played on the Capitol steps, and at a big protest, and it was fantastic, and it's great, and it's awesome, and so like but just because they've been good to me doesn't mean that I'm not critical of them, and
that's healthy, and I think that's healthy in democracy. It's healthy in society. When you critique is not me against you,
right?
It's a conversation of, I disagree with that, why did you make that move? Why did you vote that way? Help me understand it. And that's healthy.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's also going with the thing is, okay, yeah, you've done all this good stuff here, but you're a real piece of shit over here.
Absolutely.
And so you cannot separate those anymore.
Nope. You can't.
It's just the way society is now. And we're going to call it out. And at this moment, I don't see anybody that has come out that I'm really confident with.
It's been a struggle here, and I think that I am happy in the sense that we are breaking patterns and that we aren't, falling into the same missteps. But those moments of transition are very difficult. And they're where the pain happens and, things fall apart. And we always say that, seeds, Miss Permaculture, to the seed growth looks like absolute destruction because it is
Fire.
The absolute destruction.
Fire
of
in
the
a
seed.
forest actually brings new life.
Exactly. So
that death of that branch there is going to bring life. And there's a lot of bugs that are very happy right
there. The whole
there.
ecosystem.
That's exactly right. And destruction is part of that ecosystem. And I think that a shedding of the old and moving into the new, again, is never easy. Or fast. But voices like yours, I think, are shifting us in that direction.
That's very kind.
And I think
it's very important to have it, too.
Yes.
And I appreciate it.
And First Amendment at work. That's the other thing is you are embodying the Constitution by using a platform and speaking truth. And whoever chooses to tune in and hear it can take what they want from it, right? Even cheeky truth is still true.
Listen.
So I'm hearing, do we need to burn this mother down? Is that what you're talking about?
It's funny you should say that because that's actually what I was going to say is that while I am a proponent of burning it to the ground and starting over.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Don't
listen.
forget John Brown. Okay.
Linda, listen. Linda, listen. Okay.
Oh boy.
So I think
there's an idea coming.
This is why I love this woman right here.
What? Okay,
and
I have
she
an
drives
idea.
me crazy too at the same time.
Ditto.
She's moved to the.
Okay, so Linda, listen. Okay, I have an idea. I really think that you could use this in elementary schools,
to teach civics and to teach.
Teach current events, history, just hard things that are hard to learn. Honestly, it might sound really weird and crazy.
It's not weird and crazy. I'm Just a Bill on a Hill was what educated us about civics.
Well, I'm writing this healthcare song right now, and the chorus of it is one big beautiful bill by the best of the worst up on Capitol Hill, and it's just kind of very Schoolhouse Rocky. That's it's just. It's simple.
I like this though, and I think creating material. I'd like to. So I like that we're giving Curtis a task list
it's cool.
here,
I'm
right?
down.
Look, man, I'm going to expand you. Cause listen, Linda, listen.
She's ready. She's alive.
So, but what I'm saying is that, people learn through these catchy tunes. Some people try to even studying for a test or something. They'll try to remember something, whatever you call it. I think it can be useful in teaching children, one, how to understand these current events that are happening. Maybe, not use so much of change the cheeky part and turn it into a more of an educational part.
Well, and that actually is really important too, because different from whenever I was in high school or you guys were in high school, now someone who is unless the parent is very, very on top of what the child is seeing, someone who's 10 or 12 years old can very easily be taking in the same exact things that we're taking in.
Absolutely.
Every single day.
With no context or understanding of world perspective.
Their brains are not even formed enough to understand.
I mean, there are things I look at and I'm like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. And then I step back, I'm like, oh, what, Lindsay, you know that wasn't true.
You almost fell for that. You almost
got me.
What does that do to somebody who's 12 years old and then they spend the next 3 years every day seeing all this wild stuff pop up that they have no context for?
And they exist in discontent, and they exist in this place of, and that's how people get radicalized.
Yeah.
That's where that takes root, is because there's lack of context and things that trigger emotion. Religion triggers emotion, but also hate speech and things like that. And if you resonate with someone without context or understanding, absolutely.
And then let's add puberty into the mix.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Woo!
Absolutely. Right.
And then you're not going to listen to anybody that tells you not to listen to that.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
So I'm an instructor, right? And here's an example. Okay, Charlie Kirk was murdered a day maybe before 9/11.
Yeah, it was the 10th.
Yeah,
it was the 10th.
It was
the day
the
before.
10th?
Yeah.
And my lesson always on 9/11 is take it from a media perspective, right?
Which was very different back then than it is now.
Yes. Right.
Nobody had cell phones.
Well, and that was my point, was what would 9/11 look like now?
Oh my gosh.
And I wanted
the videos you would see on TikTok of people hitting the ground.
I didn't try to see the Charlie Kirk thing, and I saw it 5 times.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I didn't want to see it, and I've seen it from 14 different angles.
And it's
slowed
still
down
everywhere.
everywhere.
Still everywhere.
And that was where they went.
And
they
we
were
get a content violation for saying fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, I did that word song. Right. I wrote that the day after that happened. That happened on the 10th. I wrote it on the 11th. I put it out that night on the 11th.
Because it had that name in it, I bet it garnered a ton of attention.
First thing that I did wrong, I named it Turning Point to begin with.
Okay.
And I uploaded it, and it's the first time this has ever happened to me. Since, in the past year when I'm consistently uploading stuff, this is the first time this ever happened to me. I put it up. TikTok didn't tell me anything. And then, it was before I went to bed, I woke up the next morning, and it had 30 views, which was very irregular for me. And so
I do that with certain ones. It's that video didn't go anywhere.
Stopped. And I'm now I get at least a couple hundred, at least, but 30 views over 7-8 hours. And I pulled it up to look, and TikTok told me they had sent me a message that said that they stifled it. They pushed it down because they had changed their policy thing because of the stuff with Charlie Kirk happening. They were trying to make sure that the video wasn't being shown everywhere. So they told me to take out, I had hashtag Charlie Kirk, and they told me to take that out, and they told me to take out another hashtag, and I did, and they said, just re-upload it. So I did that. It popped off for an hour, and then same thing, stifled it again.
It had his name in it, though.
It had his name in the song.
I
had left Turning Point on top, and Turning Point was being hit with all of those things.
Oh, yeah.
So 3 times I had to upload that over 3 different days before it would finally do anything, and then they still didn't show it for a week. I didn't do it again.
Well, that's why I asked about the timeline of how you load things up, because it just came across my For You page, and I like I said, I stopped scrolling and I listened, but I knew what it was about, which was several weeks ago, right? Yeah. And so that makes sense now that you're saying that.
Then I literally started trying to put it on the internet. And if you go to YouTube or something, the original one's on YouTube from the day after, whatever. But specifically on TikTok, it wouldn't push it. It pushed it down. And then even once I just left it and was done with it, it still pushed it down, and now people are seeing it. And it's like, it's crazy. Like, I didn't even say anything bad.
That was TikTok, though, right? Do you do anything on Facebook?
I have.
Yeah, I see you on Facebook.
Yeah, I post on Facebook.
Did you have issues on Facebook? Because now I didn't see the Charlie Kirk stuff on TikTok. Where I saw it was on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Everywhere on Facebook.
Yep.
People slowing it down. People showing where the bullet. And I tried so hard not to physically see it. Right.
It was up on X in about 5 minutes.
Yes, that's that is where I saw it.
Well, I don't get on X. Yeah. It's a fucking cesspool.
I always put my stuff on there, but it never gets anything on it. Nobody on X is listening to me.
Nobody.
Like,
dude, they hate you.
Now, I am like this new Scorpion and the Frog song. Like, I post everything on Blue Sky too, and it actually, like, people seem to pick up on it on Blue Sky, which I wonder. Like, TikTok's being sold, or they're trying to do the sell, and like they're going to attempt to make it into a conservative.
So I
sound
heard that they're gonna start going through people's social media.
Yeah,
they're hiring ICE now
which
to
is
go through social media.
You know, they put $100 billion towards them from 10. So with that bill, so now they have the money to do it.
Wow.
That makes me a little bit nervous. But I mean, at the same time, like,
there are other platforms. I think that we're smart enough now. I think those of us who have dialed into the social media game have kind of figured it out.
And also, you got to take a quote. You got to be like Mother Jones, right? Be very ambiguous about your words.
Yeah, like be discerning and be smart about it.
Yep.
In the name of time, I'm wondering if we can wrap up with the Scorpion and the Frog.
Yeah, can you play Scorpion and the Frog
on that note?
Yeah,
it's after 3 now.
Yeah,
so I remember all the words to it. So
I could talk to you all evening. It's been great. Our podcast guests have been
Yeah, you got to come back.
Her son's got to go to a dance.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This has been a fantastic time.
Thanks for coming.
Y'all are fantastic. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being part of this. Yeah.
All right.
And for doing what you're doing. I think it's I like to write. It comes in spurts. I like to write poetry. I've never written much activism stuff. I did a little bit when I was in Colorado around like the issues I was working on out there, but it never really went anywhere. So I appreciate deeply what you're doing as someone who, tries to put words together and help people understand complex things more simply. So.
I appreciate you guys listening to it. And I appreciate so much you having me on, and it's like giving me another platform, and it's and I appreciate you talking with me. This has been fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
We're trying to create the narrative and create our conversation space.
I'm glad to be here. I would definitely come back anytime.
Yay, more than welcome.
Sure, for sure. All right, I'll try and play the Scorpion and the Frog. Hopefully I can remember all the words to it. So
you got this.
Military takeover of the land we love. The president of peace is going to slaughter some doves. He said peace like unity, he meant peace like a gun. They're about to fire up the ovens, they don't plan to bake buns. Still no cooling it with ice. Aren't we feeling nice? Can't even hold on to their nines. Stirring a human heist, picking people off the streets with no reason or rhyme. Asking if we want to be next while they're on our dime. And you can be the Scorpion on the Frog, but there's another Scorpion on your back. And now we're all going down. Is it really worth all of that? This is America. Oh yeah, we're doing fine. Heard they're going to take Portland and then Memphis anytime. Oh America, where police in the streets want to be ICE, but ICE is nothing more than glorified police. Oh America, what's up next on the sheet? The War Department calling all high-ranking members to meet, cause warrior ethos is the most important thing when we're covering up stuff about Trump and Epstein. And you can be the Scorpion on the Frog, but there's another Scorpion on your back. And now we're all going down. Is it really worth all of that? You feeling safe? With Cash Patel on the case, 3 Ice Detainees shot and killed and not a bit of outrage. Of course, J.D. Vance had a great bit to say about encouraging violence like they were cops in cosplay. The shooter wrote anti-ice on bullets not used to shoot people who weren't ice but were being ice abused. Cause if that's the case, just call me George Strait. I got oceanfront property in AZ, it comes with the Golden Gate. And you can be the scorpion on the frog, but there's another scorpion on your back. And now we're all going down. Is it really worth all of that? Words have weight. It matters what we say. The president went to a memorial, got up on stage and told an entire stadium that he condones hate, then turned around to tell us how we need God round our way. Is this what we support? Have we lost true north? Things are heading south quick, people calling for war. Are you in such a rush to crush the other side with force that you'd give up your own rights with no remorse? Cause you can be the scorpion on the frog, but there's another scorpion on your back. And now we're all going down. Is it really worth all of that? Is it really worth all of that? Is it really worth all of that? Thanks.
Curtis Lovejoy. You can see him on TikTok. You can see him on Facebook. Thank you
and
so
on
much.
Appalachian Livin.
Hey, hey, hey.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
So
Yeah,
much
it's been fun, and we could
awesome.
probably talk for another 4, 5, 6 hours. But
Next time.
yeah,
Next time.
we all have. We got a dance to go to, and I
Kid
gotta
things.
go check on my kid. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I have a kid.
Where's our kid?
He's at Mama's. He's okay right now.
Okay, all right.
He's fine.
Mama will take care of it.
He's fine.
So yeah, until next time.
Yeah, thank you guys again
Yeah.
for having me. I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Thank you, sir. We'll see y'all.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care.
Bye.
Appalachian Livin is sponsored in part by Wade Law Firm PLLC, Sage Stitch Finance Corporation, representing wisdom and mending what we already have, providing gap funds for resilient renovations.
Appalachian Livin is also brought to you by Hope Money Coaching, rescuing you from financial chaos and leading you to a path of financial wellness. Minimalist Gym, helping men and women navigate their health and fitness without restrictive fad diets.